In 1982, John Nesbitt wrote Megatrends. In it, he discussed the loss of millions of high-paying manufacturing jobs. By then, middle-class decline had already become a megatrend. When I read Megatrends in 1982, I thought that economists will see this as a call to action. I thought that they would figure out the cause of middle-class decline, devise a solution, and propose it to the government. Then I thought the government would change public policy in a way that would solve the problem. But this is not what happened. For the next 30 years, the nation's economists ignored the problem altogether. They let wages fall and structural unemployment rise unabated for 30 years. They did nothing. The nation's economists had the political establishment's ears. If they had the intellectual will to solve this problem, they could have made it a political reality, but they lacked the intellectual will to do so. This had dire consequences for the middle class. People are frequently less well off than their parents. Their parents are frequently less well off than their grandparents. Before this, in America, there was a steady growth where every generation was better off than the previous. It was just the last 2 generations that fell behind. Today, 1 in 6 Americans are unemployed or underemployed. 6 million Americans have been out of work for 6 months or more. 4 million have been jobless for over a year. There are millions more that haven't even been counted. 40% of Americans have serious financial problems. This tragedy is a moral failure of the economics profession. They could have prevented this tragedy, but they lack the intellectual will to do so. To me, continuing to wait for an economist to develop the intellectual will to solve these problems would fit Albert Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So the day the government bailed out AIG, I decided that I had waited long enough. So I called my friend Lawrence Levy and asked him to help me write a book that would present the cause of these problems and present a solution that would end unemployment and create a rising standard of living for all. Now, everyone has to decide for him or herself whether to continue to wait for an economist to develop the intellectual will to rediscover the same cause and the same solution, or to accept an engineer's findings and start building a bright future today. If you decide to join me, tell as many people as you can about my idea. Make my idea part of the national debate. My idea will have to go viral if it is ever to have any effect whatsoever. Politicians have to hear about it from many sources before they will accept the validity of my idea and act on it. And only then will we begin the process of ending unemployment and creating a rising standard of living for all. Grassroots support is crucial. It will take a great deal of grassroots support to get the President and the Congress to act on this idea. If that support isn't forthcoming, it is unlikely that anything will be done to reverse falling wages and rising structural unemployment. Things will continue to get worse, probably at an exponential rate. But if you are willing to support an engineer's ideas, things will get better. We will end unemployment altogether. We will have a rising standard of living for all. Things will be better for you and for everyone you know. I will be posting a large number of pieces regarding this topic, so keep listening.